to acquire Paul George. The Clips surrendered up a ton of assets, though, including 5 first-round picks. But they did get 2 superstars in the process. We are joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. This was such a subject of speculation last week. Were you surprised by the Kawhi decision to the Clippers?
Well, one of my favorite rappers of all time, KRS-One, once said, you know what he said, real bad boys move in silence. And I can't think of a better phrase.
To that too.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't think of a better phrase to characterize Kawhi Leonard. He had the whole NBA stumped, including me, right? He had, I mean, you heard.
But everybody was wrong.
It was either all Lakers, he's there, all Toronto, he's there. Nobody was saying Clippers. And I'm told even as of Friday afternoon, Doc Rivers himself thought Kawhi was headed to the Lakers because he didn't think they'd be able to get it done. Now, I talked last week about LeBron being a boss, and he is, but this was the biggest boss move I've seen of a player in my 25 years of covering the NBA. Like, who would have thought he could get another player, Paul George, with 3 years left on his deal, a deal you just signed last year. You spurned LeBron James last year and the Lakers to sign in OKC, and he comes and tells you demand a trade or gets you to demand a trade to the Clippers. Like, unbelievable. Props to Kawhi. I mean, the NBA, I wouldn't be surprised if some executives try to say, look, you got to start enforcing some tampering rules. Because this was the utmost.
More rule.
Right? Well, there's technically it's still there. They never enforce it with players. And I get it. It's almost impossible to enforce.
But the Clippers can argue that was all about number 2 dealing straight on with Paul George.
I guess so.
And then he wasn't under the Clippers umbrella. He was a free agent, so he don't belong to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I guess so, you know, but obviously it was a power move by Kawhi, and I got to give him all the credit in the world. Now, once you see that they get Paul George, it's no surprise. Because the only reason the Clippers were out, essentially, was they didn't have a second star. Kawhi did not want to have to carry the load with his health like he did last year in Toronto again. And the Lakers obviously saw that problem. He wanted 3 things. He wanted Southern California, he wanted a second star, and he didn't want to take a back seat. And even though LeBron was saying all the right things, and I think Kawhi thought he meant it, you know, there's a risk. If the 3 of you come together with Anthony Davis and LeBron, that somebody's going to take a back seat. Your instincts a lot of times kick in. So LeBron's instinct is to become the system. And maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe you kind of, so with this, he doesn't have to take a back seat. I don't think it was about who's a better player because he tried to get Kevin Durant. So he was, you know, he just wanted another star. There's really no risk of taking a backseat when it's 2 of you. And so, obviously, it was a shocking move. You know, Oklahoma City really went along with it quickly. I think that's part of, if you're OKC or any other team, would you rather Kawhi with the Lakers, with LeBron and AD, or with the Clippers? You'd rather him with the Clippers. Right. Even though OKC's not in any position to compete soon, you still don't want to create that, what the Lakers were doing. So I think that's, I mean, Kawhi was, I'm told even some people, I got to believe Uncle Dennis knew. But after that, people close to him in his camp didn't even know how hard he was working.
So he stealth bombed his own camp.
That dude is, because he's quiet, people underestimate.
That's what I told Skip. Hey, them the ones you got to be watching out for. If them quiet ones, if you watch, you know, I watch all these murder mysteries and the guys that be burning down Thanksgiving. You know, he was so quiet, he never called. He was just a normal guy, and he burned your house down and helped you put the fire out. I'm shocked. The only reason I said the Clippers were not in play, they didn't have a second guy. The Lakers had 2 guys, and then you see Jimmy Butler come off the board. You see Kyrie and KD pair up together, and he can't get Giannis. Giannis just signed. I'm looking at.
You would have felt the same way about George. You're right.
Right.
All the second stars were off the
Paul
board.
George really never came up for the very reason that you just mentioned. He just signed a 4-year deal last year, so he got 3 years left. Okay, so he's stuck. He says he doesn't want to shoulder all the load, unless you know what he thought about the load in Toronto. He's like, this is when I'm getting hurt because I'm shouldering all the load in Toronto. This was, I don't know if you was here and you felt the earthquake, but I was happened to be right smack dab in the middle, and I felt that 7-0. But when this guy swung that hammer and it struck the earth, that was about a 10. Because, boy, the ripple effects. Right. Because I'm looking like, okay, God, I thought it was fake at first because you know how they always put the uniform on some guy. They had the Laker uniform on Kawhi's like. And then I'm like you, Skip, I was like Dave, and I was like, okay, they got a Clippers uniform. Per Shams, he's going to the Clippers. And then Chris Haynes, I'm like, hold on. These guys they don't know how to Photoshop no jersey on some guy. I said, man, this some bull jive. This was before I even knew he had got Paul George. It was some bull jive that he was going to the Clippers. And then a minute later, they also I said, man, how did Kawhi pull this off? As quiet as he is. But see, the more quiet was real sneaky, Skip. That's why I don't fool with cats. Because they got padded paws and they sneak up on you. He over there in the corner. Next thing you know, he rubbing up against your leg. How you get so close to me so quick? And that's what Kawhi did. He all quiet and everything. Did nobody think anything. He done pulled the rug out from under Toronto, snatch, got the Lakers. Now El Segundo, and then we got to go way out here to Westlake Village. Do you know how far a drive that is? And he all the time, he got Paul George holed up in the same hotel. Man, that joker dirty. Kawhi, you dirty, Kawhi. That was some real dirty stuff you pulled on us, Kawhi. And I'm going to forgive you for it, Kawhi, because I feel...
Dirty?
Yeah, it was dirty. It was dirty.
You think?
It was dirty how you pulled. You know what?
This is business.
I love that. Yeah, dirty business.
I don't think I know you're going to probably say he was using the Lakers. I don't think it was using them. I think he was...
Well, I like it.
He ended up there.
Because you know what? Because that way I don't care. I don't care. He Kawhi. He showed up. He's still okay. Skip, you know what? A part of me, I'm disappointed, but I was thinking about it yesterday. I mean, like, how unfair would that have been? AD, Kawhi, and LeBron. We got another Golden State situation, and everybody was waiting for that monopoly to break up.
This is better for the NBA.
Yeah.
It's better for the NBA.
But we still got the best two. We got the best duo.
So Chris Broussard does not know this, but we actually have an audio recording of my reaction on Friday night when the stealth bomb dropped. DJ, could you drop that track? Am I right?
Yeah, you like that. You got me.
For months, I've tried to tell both of you guys, this is the guy you cannot trust. This is the guy who quit his way out of San Antonio with a thigh bruise because he wanted to get back to L.A. And he knew it might take 1 year in purgatory in Toronto, and he paid his dues to Toronto, and he left them with the championship. You got to give him that.
Yes.
But this was brilliantly devious. Yeah. And yes, I am convinced that all week he or Uncle Dennis leaked, especially Uncle Dennis in this case, leaked false information to mislead all the media and keep them off the Paul George trade.
I give you the credit. Absolutely.
Okay?
That's what I believe.
And I believe everybody got duped. I believe everybody got taken for one long ride. And it was a long week, man, because I kept saying, what is he doing, just playing this for all it's worth? Nope. Behind the scenes, he is frantically negotiating because, to your point, he took a shot at Kevin Durant. And Kevin said, no, I want to stay Northeast. You know, at that point, it was still Knicks,
I think he wanted
Nets.
New York.
Yeah, okay, all right, whichever, it worked out. Right. And then he took a shot at his friend Jimmy Butler, and I still don't know why Jimmy said, I want to be a solo star in Miami, but he did. And it left number 2 on an island of, my heart's with the Clippers. The Clippers have recruited him like crazy for a year.
All year.
They were sending executives to his games. It's like high school recruiting. Like, you know, the coaches show up, the assistant shows up.
Lee Jenkins.
Yeah.
As basically a private investigator.
Again, the Sports Illustrated
writer.
Great writer from Vanderbilt University, by the way, but all the great profiles he's written. Right. He wrote LeBron's
Coming Home.
Westbrook, LeBron,
Yep, he did it all. And now he's employed by the Clippers in part as a presentation to number 2. Here, we are it. We are your destination. We are in your home area, and we have a better organization than the other organization. And then whatever little chance the Lakers might have still had if Paul George fell apart, Magic Johnson doomed. He
with all the leaks.
Why would he tell that?
I still think they would have got him, but the front office being in such disarray was an issue
it was
too.
just
But
terrible.
yeah, but you're right. We talked about it. I mean, everything was coming out.
So, because he got out the rip, Skip, before he even set foot in the door. I can't trust you. He called Skip, he didn't want, if he wanted, he could have leaked that information that I'm going to talk to Magic. Why would Magic feel that, you know what?
I know why. Because he had, walked out the back door on the Lakers, but he wanted to prove to Laker Nation, I'm still your guy. I'm your ambassador. I'm still, let me back in your good graces because